What's up, guys? It's Tim here, Gutter Growth Podcast. I got a very special guest, Jon Majak. What's going on, brother?
Tim, what's up, man? Dude, first of all, that intro is out of control. I don't know. You must have a team of VAs or something that could put that together.
Yeah, they're killing it.
It's amazing, dude.
Might need to refresh on it soon, though.
Yeah, right? I'm glad to be here, man. Ready to drop some knowledge and talk branding and just help, man. Serve.
So I remember when the first time I met Jon, it was on a cold call, like what, 13, 14 years ago, something crazy.
14 years ago, yep.
Yeah, you're just getting grinded.
I've been at it my whole life, bro. But I think the funny thing is like imagine cold calling Tim out of everybody in the planet. If you're watching this Gutter Growth podcast, you know Tim. Here I am, a young guy with no experience in what I'm doing, saying, "Hey, I got what you need." Imagine Tim's thought process, but dude, we kept it real from the start, and we eventually ended up working together. And 14 years later, man, some pretty epic stuff is going down.
Yeah, you saved me from Town Square Interactive.
They were getting you. They were getting you, man. Yeah, Town Square, for those who don't know, is Town Square and Yellow Pages was just like they were dominating and giving people just basic stuff. And Pipeline came in and said, "Let's make this personal. Let's build a brand behind it, and let's take this to the next level."
I think he called me right after they switched my account manager for the 10th time that year.
Yep. Yeah, man. Crazy times.
No, so that was good times, man. What I loved is we used to get on the phone and just kind of like strategize. And eventually he told me, "Hey, Tim, your brand sucks, bro."
Yeah, yeah. And in so many words, you had Gutter Professionals Inc. in all like Times New Roman. You were doing several hundred thousand a year at the time, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you got to turn this thing up. We got to liven this. And that was like the first real brand I ever did, but little did I know, right? And then you scaled like crazy.
Yeah, because I had that professional look. And at the end of it, because branding's their perception of you, at the end of it, I was a high-end brand. Like I was looked at as the high-end brand.
It's unbelievable, man, what that does. And it's taken me a long time to like finally step into that calling. You know that. You've been telling me for years, like, go, man, you have this vision and you have this creative ability. And for whatever reason, I just was hesitant, but I just feel like I'm being called, and I always preach it from the stage or wherever. Like when God's calling you, man, you don't send him to voicemail. Answer that call. Finally picked up that call, and I think some cool stuff is going to go down. So, but it all starts with building an epic brand and then pouring fuel on the fire to support that business.
Yeah, now you have a passion behind it. You've came up with some really cool brands, man. I think my favorite's Gutter Growth.
Yeah, Gutter Growth was cool, man. Gutter Growth. Well, that's because the story behind it, right? Like for those who don't know, like Tim sold his business, and I remember thinking, I looked at Johnny D, my partner at Mr. Pipeline, and I said, "Tim sold his business, man. It's been quite the journey." And he's like, "Bro, let's have him at the office. Let's celebrate." And between all that, Tim showed up, and as soon as he walked in, I said, "We got a gift for you. Here's a bottle of wine, but more importantly, like look to the left." And we opened up this big TV, and it was guttergrowth.com. Remember that? And the logo was
Yeah.
built at the time. And you're like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Everything is telling me that this is your next calling. You've been serving, helping, showing up. You've been that guy in this industry, in the community, like for as long as I can remember." And I remember thinking, I'm like, I had been coaching for 5 years at the time, and I'm just like, I think you're built for that. And it's a whole different skill set, bro. It's a whole different skill set. But you showed up and you stepped into it, and you've changed hundreds, if not hundreds to thousands of lives since you've stepped into that calling, man. So you're something you should be proud of.
Yeah. Now, there was a lot to learn, right? I didn't know how to do a Zoom call. I'm like, man.
Yeah. I was like, "Tim, you got Zoom?" And you're like, "You mean like the cars that go fast?" And I'm like,
You're like,
"No, bro, not like a Zoom car. Yeah, we've come a
you're like,
long
you need
way,
to do a
man.
podcast. I'm like, a what?
You're doing it all though.
Yeah.
It's crazy though. Like every time you step into a new arena, it humbles you fast. It really does. Like
Yeah.
even branding, I have a great creative mind and I'm a huge visionary, but like it's a different skill set to deliver it to somebody, knock their socks off, help them roll out the brand, and then just it's a whole different ball game, but it's special, man. Doing the unknown, taking risks, and doing everything you can to perform at a high level.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got a good visionary mind. It's it's working really well with you too with the brands. Like even Mother's Gutters. Like when you first said it to me, Mother's Gutters, I gotta be honest, I wasn't in love with it yet.
No,
I
no.
sat with it and like I'm sitting there, then you got all these plays on. I'm like, wait a second, this
Yeah.
makes sense. It
Yeah.
took a minute,
Well,
but once I got it, I'm like, oh shit.
it because it's deep, man. It's easy for a company to do Palm Beach gutters. It's easy to do South Florida gutters. Remember, you and I even had a lead generation business that was South Florida gutter cleaning. Remember
Yeah.
that site? Like it's easy to do that. You put a palm tree with a sun and you send it on its way. That's not what a brand is. A brand is exactly what you went through, that feeling. It's that emotional feeling. And I knew once Mothers, you processed what Mothers was, it was gonna be a home run. Because I'll never forget it. You wrote me, I was like, hey bro, here are the ideas. You're like, all right, cool, let me make sense of it. And then 2 or 3 days later, you're like 100% Mothers. And I'm like, what? And you're like, there's just something about it, especially with the tagline that nobody cares more than mom. And
Yeah.
I was like, my man,
And
it
then when you
hits you.
busted out with that tattoo, the I
Yeah,
Heart Mom tattoo, I'm like,
yeah,
this is it.
yeah, this is it, bro. This is it. That's what a brand is. It's the cool part is about Mothers is it wasn't just a catchy name. It was like we thought about the entire core of like the business, who was involved in the business, and who was going to be like that lead behind the business, and it's Lisa. So we literally built something so special for Lisa, and the story unfolded because if you know Lisa, like this is why when I do a brand for somebody, I look at their core values. I like try to understand who they are as a business, and like once we understood Lisa, we're like, wait a minute, this is easy. She literally is cares about people so deeply. She serves. She's just like a loving human, and she's a hard worker. And I'm like, wow, here we are, built this brand for her, but now it has legs, dude. Where it's like she shows up at a job afterwards and like dropping off a dozen roses because nobody cares more than mom. I mean, come on, forget about it. That's gonna be the next brand. Forget about it, gutters. Like
Yeah.
that's unreal. That's how you unleash a brand. You don't just create a logo. You create the sick logo, tagline, build it behind yard signs, flyers, door hangers, websites, uniforms, trucks, you name it. But then take it even further. Give that thing life, right? Like give that thing life. I can imagine what we're going to be doing for women's shelters in the future, or on Valentine's as we move forward, or, for widows. Like there is a special gift we've been given, but it's our job to like unlock it and set it free.
We've had customers tell us, like, look, we're going with you just because of your name.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's
Really
crazy.
is crazy.
And we're paying more for you.
Right.
And
Because
they
there's
told
a,
us that.
yeah, dude, there's a Harvard Business Review put out there that says the average customer will spend 13% more to deal with a professional and be okay with it. That's a crazy stat. You're literally, just by investing into your brand, the data says you can command a higher price. Why in the world wouldn't you even consider that? If like you're trying to make money and you're in the game of business to get wealthy and grow and flourish, like I would do everything I can to make sure I can command the highest price.
I mean, when I
So,
think about myself, I don't buy on the cheapest price. I'm not saying that I never will if it makes
mm-hmm,
sense, but most likely I'm buying on quality, and I just want it to be like right.
mm-hmm,
You
right.
know, paying for
I'm
a
the same way.
feeling that you're going to be taken care of.
100%, dude. I pay for my pool way like a little bit more than I should. Like my pool cleaning, because
Yeah.
I don't value, like I obviously want a good price, but I'm not determining my everything on the lowest price. That lowest price is going to bring you in somebody who has crappier equipment or moves too fast or doesn't really like they're thinking they can get away with things. There's no camera. Like you spend an extra 20, $30 a month, but like you have peace of mind. The person's going to do a thorough job, do the right stuff. Guys, if you're listening to this, it is so important that that inner beast wakes up inside of you that tells, like, that fights, that says, I will not compete on price. I will compete on value. Stack the value. Stack the value all day. And then you're like, show up, like, do what you say you're going to do, right? So, say a lead comes in, be early to the job, right? Call the lead first, book it, be early to that lead. Show up 5 minutes early, right? Giving Mrs. Jones a wow experience. As you're going through it all, just over deliver every single step of the way. You earn that value, man, because then it'll just get you over, it'll get you a referral and new business left and right. It's the name of the game, man.
Yeah, no. I've seen some of the stuff you're working on behind the scenes too, man. Some of that stuff's pretty crazy. If
Yeah.
someone got one of those brands, I mean, they would be the talk of the town.
It's funny, man. Somebody just took one before I
Did
even had
they?
the ability to launch it. Yeah. Yeah. And it's going, literally just showing him because I was like, listen, I was talking to Tim about some of this stuff and, he wanted to see it and he thought these were really cool. And he literally said, is there a way I can look at it? And so on and so forth. Like he bought it. He's like, I want it, lock it in. I don't want to think anymore. And, that's the future too, man. It really is. So where my mind's at in this branding space, there's always going to be a place for the high ticket provider. There is. There should be. There needs to be somebody that the industry says that's the guy, and there should be that spot. So in my humble opinion, I'm not gunning to take out the king of the castle, right? But I'm also not gunning to be the low cost provider for somebody who's on Fiverr or Upwork or any of these little sites that'll beat you over the head for 30, $50. For me, there's a spot to deliver something in the stratosphere of the best in the business, but figure out how to make it affordable and create a path forward for the everyman, for the guy who has one or two trucks that wants to take the big leap to put it all on the line, or the guy who says I'm doing 500,000 but I know I can get to 1 million, or the guy who's doing 1 million but can get to 3 million. Like that's the world. And I feel, Tim, I've been telling you this for so long, bro. The gutter industry deserves a seat at the table. The gutter industry deserves to be respected like the big boys, the roofers, HVAC, plumbing, electrical. But we said it the other day, man, nobody's going to give you the seat. It's our job as leaders in this industry to force our seat. And by forcing our seat, we're going to raise the standard of, say, coaching programs, consulting, people, like better industry practices, branding, marketing. Dude, that's what it's all about. I'm like, it's my greatest passion right now is to figure out how to navigate it for this industry, because I know, just like Gutter Summit, bro, just like Gutter Growth, there was no coaching program. It was just the vision. I'm like, there needs to be one, because me and you have been boys for so long. We're like, where is the people in here, right?
There's
Where are
nobody
the
really
leaders?
nailing it on branding in the gutter space. And you know what it is?
Say,
It's just such a big barrier to entry. It's like some of the greats are 25 grand, you know, and that's just to get your branding done. That's not
right.
wrapping your trucks. That's not doing your shirts. That's not printing your cards and, you know,
Mm-hmm.
everything else. So yeah, I think there's just a huge barrier to entry, but there's so many trades ahead of us, like the roofing
Yeah.
industry, HVAC. I mean, they're like miles ahead of us.
Yeah. But I think this year's going to collapse time for a lot of people. I think the gutter industry this year and next year are going to start unleashing brands that are going to disrupt the entire space. Why not? Why not? Like, seriously, you have to ask yourselves that. Like, I remember before I started Mr. Pipeline, I'm like, why can't there's Yellow Pages and Town Square and everybody, why can't a kid from the street who really gives a shit about people, not a large corporation, come out and represent like a home service base? And if
Mm-hmm.
I fought for 14 years for that, but along the way I started getting it right. And I feel like it's the same exact story, dude. It's so wild. I was telling somebody that the other day. I feel like it's like deja vu. I'm back out there, and I think there's something special that's going to happen for gutter guys and girls, man. The whole industry's going to get shooken up.
I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see
Yeah.
the first one out.
Yeah, it's coming out, man. They're starting to roll. They're all being built, and they're going to start firing out this month.
Yeah. So you just like think branding all day. I've noticed like you're thinking concepts and must be
Yeah.
wild being up in that brain.
It's wild, dude. It's a scary spot because you there's no place to rest anymore, right? My calendar is not only completely packed right now, which is fine, but that's what it's going to take. It's going to take somebody like lifting and carrying and running through all this mud to get to the other side. But when the lights go off and the cameras go off, it's like, man, it just never stops. You're like literally thinking all the time, how can I make this person that made this commitment for branding, how can I make their experience exceptional? How can I make that product amazing so they feel so damn proud of themselves? And that's a crazy responsibility, bro.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm up for it, and we're gonna see how it goes down. But it's
I don't
exciting
think
stuff for sure.
I don't think people have the complete grasp yet of how important nailing the branding is. Like
They
how
will.
important it is to even have a good name. Like I'd say 50-60% of the names I hear just are trash and they need to be
Right.
renamed. You know, it's
Right.
like
Right.
RJT gutters. Like
Yeah.
I'm just not going to remember that. Are you going to remember that?
No. I'll tell
No.
you, I was talking to somebody yesterday who's in gutter growth. Literally told me, John, last January of 2025, I was doing $25,000 a month in revenue. This January, February, whatever it is, $71,000. I don't know what kind of percentage growth that is because I'm no mathematician, but that's definitely seems like
250, 300.
yeah, it's something in the thousands of growth in one calendar year. That is because the gutter growth program came in and lifted it, and then this gentleman came in and said, you know what? I can learn from these guys. They've already done millions. Let's collapse time. Let's figure this out. They bolted onto it in exceptional growth. That's exactly what's going to happen with the branding too. There'll be a moment where it's out there and people are going to be like, I'm not sure. But then it's going to take one or two or three. And then they're going to look at their revenue growth and they're going to be like, wait a minute. I need to attach to that. The branding's going to just drive so much growth, man.
I remember 20 years ago, 25 years ago, reading marketing books, and they're like, you know, I don't know if it was guerrilla marketing or I don't know, some book I was reading, but it really like drove home that they need to see you 7 times. But that was like back then. Now we got these
Right.
30-second reels and like way less attention spans.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably have to see you 21 times now.
Right.
But you know,
Right.
if you have that particular brand that really sticks out, maybe it's 2 times.
Yeah. Right.
You know, people just know your name. It's just like, you know, like if I have to like Rotor Rooter, right? that's just who I think about when I think of a company that comes and flushes out pipes. It's
Right.
just because I remember their name. If you just have a
Absolutely.
good name, it's going to be your marketing's going to become cheaper. So it's a little bit heavier on the front end.
Right.
But for the rest of that business's life,
Right.
you got very inexpensive marketing, especially on their
Absolutely.
wraps.
Absolutely. All that stuff will lower your customer acquisition cost. It's funny, dude, because you know this, because you're one of the only people I know that think like I do in terms of what you always said, the money, it's a boomerang, it goes out, it comes
Yeah.
back, right? That's a perfect example. Like you're literally putting money out up front, but it's all being spread and coming back. And the thing that I'm going to do that's going to change this whole thing up is I'm going to offer a better pricing structure so people in the space don't feel threatened by that heavy number. Literally, I think that's the big barrier to entry. Because think about it, bro. Like gutter guys have no problem going to spend $22,000 on a machine, right? Or whatever the number might be for whatever type of machine they want, because they just know they're going to get a return on that. The minute that they're able to just attach the 5x ROI, 10x ROI mindset, they're going to blow up, man. Got to think big in this space.
Yeah, you got to think for the future.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I mean, like with my company Griswold, it's like everyone loved that name, and that really helped with a lot of the sales, I think.
Of course. It's catchy. People know what it is. And if you roll down the street right now, not only is the trailer like dynamic and the whole like feeling is dynamic, but it's like if I was looking out the street right now and I would remember that name.
Yeah,
So it's like what you said, it goes
and
right
it's
into
a
it.
feeling if we do it big around here.
Yeah, right.
you know,
Absolutely, man.
you
So
know.
yeah, you're right. It's not seeing it 7 times anymore. Sometimes the brand will collapse that.
Yeah, TC Christmas lights just wouldn't did it.
No, no, no. No, guys, if you're listening, tune in to the fact that the branding is going to change your life. It's something special, and I'm even putting it out there to say you guys don't be afraid to put out a personal brand too. My personal brand has helped me make so much more money, relationships, impact than I mean, Mr. Pipeline's great, but Mr. Pipeline is focused on marketing and branding and stuff like that. But like if you go to my personal page or you see some of the other stuff I'm doing, like people they they lock me into like the lion thought, right? When they see a lion, they think about me. And like it says a lot. Courage, down to fight, down to hunt, down for anything. But like people would just message me directly through the personal brand, just want to check in and eventually work with Mr. Pipeline, or I'm just giving them life advice. And they'll, whether there's money to make or not in that transaction, I'm creating impact, and that matters too. But more often than not, that backs into business. So I told you that too, man. I'm going to challenge you this year. We're going to step you out into your personal brand because I think that there's a fighter in you that needs to come out from a branding perspective. And I'm down to take on that task. And then everybody can watch this moment back where we called our shot. Because I know you're down. Are you down for that?
Yeah, man.
And then we do that. And then you start to speak like that, become like that. And before you know it, people will be messaging and you DMing you. And they're not going to say, hey, what gutter machine should I buy? They're going to be like, Tim, thanks so much for inspiring me, man. Like, this is really cool. And then they back into clients and they back into members, they back into friends, and it's cool, man. It's cool. So don't just think professional. When you do things from a personal perspective too, that's pretty cool to see that unfold.
Yeah, I think personal branding's more important than people realize. I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of people want to know who's behind that business, and
Mm-hmm.
especially if you could build a personal brand in your local area, like get
Right.
5 Mile famous.
Right. It's true. It's true. So my buddy Robert Eisenstadt, who we had speak at Summit, the first one, he said to me, we had a talk a while back, and he looked at me and he's like, I just don't know where I fall in. I want to keep growing and I want to keep figuring it out. And I looked and it was so clear, man. This is why I love when people are humble and real and keep it 100. I hate people that feel like they've made it and they're entitled. Like we're all students. We're all trying our best. But one of the greatest things I can tell people is like if you look up to somebody, ask them questions. Figure out how to get in, how to have them as an advocate in your corner. because Robert came up to me one day and he's like, dude, I'm just not sure where my next move is. And I told him, bro, you need to build a personal brand in your pressure washing space, but make it about commercial. I asked him all about the business he did, where all his revenue came from, all this stuff. He was like 90% commercial, but he was talking about random pressure washing stuff. I told him to lock into that human, build an avatar around being the commercial expert in the space. And dude, long story short, not only did he create a Facebook group with thousands of members in there, he's the commercial guru, commercial expert, but he just hosted his first convention, all based on commercial. Think about that. He had had nothing to do with his business. He stepped into a personal brand, ran with it, created a killer coaching program, killer Facebook group, killer convention, and it's all because he had the courage to back into a personal brand. I'm telling you, man, now he can go into property managers and he can go into like HOAs and he can like check my receipts, go check my resume. Like I'm that guy, right? I'm that guy. You can go get a quote from anybody. But I promise you, once you do your research on who that owner is versus me, you're going to find out nobody knows commercial more than me. And I'll give you everything you want and more. It's like, boom. Dude, that's what it's all about. We're living in 2026. It's a different world. You have to compete at a different level.
People want to know who they're doing business with. And they want to know, like, and trust you. And it goes both ways. It goes for the personal branding and for the business. When they see that utterly gutters or that recognizable brand, they feel they know you and they like you and they're going to trust you. It just kind of
absolutely,
it speeds up that whole process.
It sure does, man. It sure does. You know that best.
And when you come in and you're already trusted and they already got that sense about you, I mean, you're going to close higher ticket jobs. You're going to close jobs easier. You're going to get jobs easier and you're going to get referred more.
Absolutely. And you have the ability to build like a purpose behind it too. So if you're just running around with like RT Christmas lights or RT home service, like you're having trouble finding good help. I mean, who wants to work for a company like that, right? Versus Griswold's, right? Or Mother's. But then think about how that person feels driving to a mom and pop shop, RT Home Services, and there's like no branding. It doesn't matter what you wear, doesn't matter what you drive, what you're going to be late to the customer. Like what real killer wants to work for that type of company? So like it goes so much deeper that the A players, they want to feel special. They want to look at their spouse and say, honey, I got a 401k. I'm working for a company that's on a mission. I got swag. Like it's a real thing. So that actually spills into your, like Tommy Mello says, like your internal employee, your internal customers, and that's your employees. It's amazing.
Not all employees are really money driven. Like I've had an office manager I've had for a long time. For an example, she's not real money driven, but if she got into a company that was stagnant, even if it didn't affect her personal finances, they don't like that.
Right.
Like even if it's not affecting their finances directly, they don't want to be at a stagnant company.
It's true. So true. It's so true. Everybody's looking to grow, whether they believe it or not. You're either growing or dying. Like everybody's looking to evolve as a human being. So yeah, think about how as you evaluate if it's time for you or not. See, I like to say like not everybody's ready for the big step. Not everybody's ready for a new brand or marketing. Like you have to be ready to grow. If you're ready, if not, business is gonna collapse on you and you're gonna wish you never made an investment. So if you're that person who's on this podcast right now and you're wondering, is it time? Well, ask yourself, are you looking to grow? If that answer is yes, you need to have your marketing dialed in, your branding dialed in, your admin, systems, production, everything needs to start getting dialed in. If you just want to be the one truck doing owner operator, that's amazing too. And I wish you the best, but you might not be the right candidate for that.
What I noticed with a lot of people, it's like they'll have like an emotional attachment to RJT gutters or whatever it is. And
right.
My opinion is like if you're gonna like say roofing, right? I'm not a roofer. I mean, I know enough, but I'm not a roofer, right? And so if I go to a roofing company, I'm asking for advice. I'm probably going to listen to what they have to say because I'm not the expert at it. I
Mm-hmm.
feel that people should go to a branding company, especially like
Mm-hmm.
someone like you, with an open mind and kind of let the expert help create something for you.
I
Because
agree.
like I've seen resistance on it with some people, and it's just like, man, the RGT letters makes no sense, and you don't know
Right.
branding, so like, let's listen to the guy who does know
Right.
branding.
It's true.
You
It's
know?
true. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's such a good point. People are like it seems like there's no in between. They're like married to their name or they're like I could care less. And if you've got I've already declined 3 people this week alone. Today is Wednesday. 3 people wanted me to rebrand and I said no because they wouldn't change their name. It was such like a and I don't want to call anybody out because I don't have anything but love for people, but like if you that's what I mean. You have to be ready to grow. And part of growth is uncomfortable. And if you got a name that has like the word products in it, but you're an installation company, you're it doesn't matter what brand I give you, you're telling Mrs. Jones that you have products, but you're an installation company. And like it's important you grip onto that, guys. Like if you're a gutter cleaning company, that's what you are. It needs to say gutter cleaning. You need to focus on what you do. Mrs. Jones doesn't have time for you. You need to spoon feed her immediately. She needs to digest it immediately and move on. But if you're spoon feeding her and she's missing the spoon and she's not sure what she's even eat, it's like you lost her. So be clear. It's not just about a killer brand, it's about being clear in your messaging too. But
Yeah,
you're
it's
right,
not just
man.
about having a name and a pretty logo. Like the whole
No,
thing needs to make sense.
it
And
needs to make sense. Yep.
yeah,
Imagine it was Mother's Home Services Incorporated or Mother's Services. It's like it sounds okay, but the logo would look great, but it Mrs. Jones is confused. Mrs. Jones
like
is
I love
confused.
our logo at Mother's, but that's not what does the branding. It's the whole feeling behind
It's
it. And
exactly the whole feeling behind it. It's so true.
so I think that's just my advice when someone goes to a branding company or if you come to John, like have an open mind and let the expert kind of help you. I'd say 60% of your guys' names need to change.
Yeah, yeah, and I think and it will. I think it's gonna be in everybody's timing, just like everything else, man. There was a moment where, like Christmas lights, there was no industry, and then people are like, you got to do it. Then people were nervous, and then some people did it, and they exploded. Like you have to see it. You have to see it, and I think a lot of guys in the gutter space are locked in on gutter companies. But if they open their mind and see some like the heavy hitters that have been playing around for the last 10 years that are doing 8, 9 figures, it'll inspire you. Like find if you're listening now, my advice to you is this. Find the baddest home service brand that you've seen over the last 5 years, because I know that you remember who they are. That's the purpose of branding. So like go to Google, find it, print that picture, and put it in your office. Stare at that thing. Start to understand like what if that was you? Envision yourself operating like that business. How would your life change? How would your company change? Because if you can envision that, you're really quickly going to be like, yeah, it's time to move. Tim, people don't know this about me, but when I started my first company, I think I told you this. It was a company called Logical Position. They had like I don't know, had to be $100 million company out of Oregon. And I remember thinking, here I am, just this kid who has no money, driving to a shitty little office, and one day, right? One day, I hopefully I can get big. But what I did is I found the CEO of Logical Position, and I cut a picture out of him, and I taped him to my steering wheel. Imagine that,
Tell me
right?
about that.
Yeah, my steering wheel in my office, everywhere I went. There was one at my home office, my professional office, and then on my steering wheel. So I never took my mind off of what I could be. Because who is this guy? Just some guy. And if shout out to him if he's listening, because I've looked up to you my whole life. But like that's what it takes. Relentless focus on chasing the best in the business. So that's where I'm at now. There might even be some pictures in my steering wheel right now that I can't tell anybody about. But that's what I mean for gutter guys too, man. Like envision the best and know that you can attain that too. But nobody's going to give you anything. You got to force it.
I could say this much. If you nail your branding, it'll be the best thing you do for your business. There's not even something better that you can do for your business.
Yeah.
Like that is the number one.
Right. It's so true, bro. Because marketing's amazing, right? Like you Google ads, SEO, Facebook ads, it's like that's amazing. It'll pour business in. But what's even more amazing is having something like an epic thing, an epic thing inside of your business. So when you drive Google ads to it, Facebook ads, SEO, like Mrs. Jones is landing on that epicness, if that makes sense. So it's hard to even put your finger on until you experience it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I've experienced a couple of good brands now.
Yeah, absolutely. It matters. It matters, man. So yeah,
what's what's like one piece of advice you could give these guys that honestly, let's just call it how it is. 95% of these brands aren't that great.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the advice you'd give for most people when considering rebranding, or even if they're just starting a business and just starting it off right?
Yeah.
Other than just getting with you.
Yeah, no, I think at the end of the day, it's like even for me, like we might not be a good fit. We might be a good fit. There's no way to tell. Like there needs to be a natural chemistry when you're working with somebody. But like for me, it's like my best advice for somebody is literally just think about what type of business you're looking to build. So like how do you want to be positioned in the marketplace in 3 to 5 years? Do that soul searching. If you really want a lot of free time through and through, and you know that just being an owner operator running 4 days a week, 6-hour days, and you want that easy, like that type of lifestyle, then like disqualify yourself from a high level brand. Keep it minimal, keep it tight, keep the revenue, and just run with one or two. The issue is like that's going to burn you out in the long run. So make sure within that 3 to 5 years, like there's a plan to a succession plan where you can hand it off to somebody in the family or a friend or something. That's my advice for that. But if you're in the 3 to 5 world where you're trying to do multiple 7 figures, 8 figures, then it's important that you invest in a brand. It, like you said, Tim, it'll quite frankly change the trajectory of your entire scale. You can go from like this with a slow build, but like you saw in Gutter Professionals, when we rebranded, it was like this, but then it went bang and never looked back. Mr. Pipeline did a rebrand and we went from this to that. Like it's the nature of the business. Anybody who's done it.
My biggest competitors back then would say, Gutter Pros is high end. They do the high end stuff, They would admit it.
Right.
They do this stuff.
Yep. So dial in. Guys, if you're wondering what my best advice is, it's like identify who you want to be and then reverse engineer that. It's the most important thing I can tell you. Decide who you're going to be, print that picture of those brands, whatever that looks like, and work towards attaining that sooner than later. Get with the right branding company that you think can hit your vision and build your systems behind closed doors. And never look back, man. Put your foot on the pedal and push because you got limited time on this earth.
I got the honor to see some of your work behind the scenes that you're working on, and it's fire. But how can some guys get in touch with you if they want to go ahead and start checking some of that stuff out?
Yeah, man.
Checking their brand.
So go to mrpipeline.com and then in services there's a branding area under services, branding and design. Book a assessment with me. We get on a quick call, 20, 30 minutes. We see if it's time. Like we'll go through what's right, what you're working on now, what's good, what's bad, what's indifferent. With me, you already know this about me, but like there is no sale. If you think that it's time, book the call with me. I'll let you know my honest opinion. If you're in growth mode, if I think you have the revenue to support it, if it's you have the right like mindset, like are you ready to get rid of a bad name and like cut the cord? Like there's a lot of factors to a successful brand launch. But like, yeah, book a call with me and we can go through that together. I'd be happy to help to see if we can take it to the next level.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, bro. So
shit, bro.
Yeah,
I think
man.
it'll be the best thing they do. That's for sure. I mean, it's helped us a lot with just Mother's Gutters coming in with that name, and I seen that just with our startup, and if you could collapse time and be very memorable, like Chester's a prime example. The guy was doing big numbers, but he grew like 40-50% in a year and a half after rebranding, and that wasn't even the most incredible thing. The most incredible thing was how much easier it became to hire. And so it's the best thing that you do for your company.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it, man. It's amazing to make it to this. We've made it this far, man, through Gutter Growth, through Gutter Summit. Think about Gutter Summit too. Just like the simple but powerful brand behind it, and that's the thing. It's not just the logo. It's like everything we did was followed suit, right? Everything we do is like conquering the climb, or together we rise, or everything we do, like we build, like it's a journey together. So it's cool, bro, to have made it this far with you through Gutter Growth Summit and everything else we got going on. And I sometimes I just feel like it's the beginning. We're just scratching the surface.
Yeah, we're very beginning.
Yeah, it feels like it. It really does. It's going by fast, bro. But how long ago was that until you came to the when you came
Gutter
to the
Growth,
office?
like 2.5, 3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, I want to say around 2 years, 2 years, give or take. That's amazing. So it is the beginning, man.
Yep. So I don't know if you guys like or follow us, but go ahead and like, subscribe, share, join our channel. We're on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple.
And for anybody that shares this podcast, books a call with me, consider me giving you some sort of exclusive deal just for you showing love to the Gutter Growth podcast. Just mention it, and I'll make sure on our call that I lock you in with some sort of exclusive offer just for spreading the love, man. So thank you, guys. Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, brother.
Much love, man. Honor to be here with you, bro.
See you soon.
Yep. Peace.